Hello, guys and girls. This is part zero to what if Deku was Legion, and yeah, this is the second highest voted how should I say what if in the poll. And let me tell you, I'm trying to complete my like think out how the world is gonna be with what if Deku was Jinx. Just wait a little bit longer on that. I'm trying to figure out how to fully like complete it. That's what's been holding all the rest of my what ifs back, because I've been stumped on that what if. I don't want to completely like, how should I say? I don't want to completely reuse the storyline of that Jinx in Arcane. I don't want them to be like have the same storyline. That would be no fun. No, how should I say, creation, or not really creation, no creativity. It's just me copying what was made from Arcane. So I'm trying to make a different storyline. That, let's say, I don't want to copy theirs. I'm just copying and pasting if I did that, pretty much. But besides that, here is the second highest grossing voted what if that's from the poll. After this is either what if Deku was yeah, I'm pretty sure the next what if will be what if Deku was Ghostface, and then I'll do what if Deku was Jane the Killer. After that, I'm going to start my Halloween what if, and yeah. Besides that, I got that surprise what if going on. Yeah, and I actually, my Halloween what if is not going to be a series. It's going to be turned into a movie. I've only done one what if movie before, but I feel I can do this. So I'm going to start making what if movies, just so I can put out my whole idea in a whole storyline that's converted into 1 hour to 2 hours, 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hours. So yeah, that's gonna be on the 30th, this Halloween. Well, the other two what ifs um will most likely be one. Other one will be a movie, but the last one will actually be turned into a series, because of how I plan on making that story. So yeah, the two what ifs I want to do this month is yeah, gonna be turned to movies. Well, what if Deku was death? That's gonna be brought back to a November what if, cause I want to replace that with a surprise what if that I actually thought would be a cool idea to do, and I just want to bring my idea out there. So yeah, thank y'all for listening. And I know there's been a lot of changes, but just know I'm still trying to make a what if Deku was Jinx. So yeah, I'm still in the process of making that, thinking on that world. But if y'all have any suggestions, tell me in the comment section of how y'all would love me to do Jinx what if, the Jinx what if. So yeah, I don't, yeah. So thank you for listening. Let me roll that intro.
Sweet dreams are made of screams. Those who lost their minds will disagree. You travel the world on a 70. Everybody's looking for someone, and they found you, and they...
Now, we start the what if with Aizawa in Tartarus prison in the sitting room, waiting for an inmate to come in. As he's been waiting for a couple minutes, and then he hears the beeping sound of the door opening. As he looks up from his phone, as he sees the inmate with 2 guards, as the inmate smiles widely after seeing her visitor, as she sits down and says, my, if it isn't the wonderful Eraserhead, the amazing Shota Aizawa, if it isn't my dad, as she smiles widely, as Aizawa just looks at her with a very sad look, as he takes out a cigarette, puts it in his mouth, and he lights it, as he is very stressed right now, just seeing his own daughter in Tartarus prison saddens him to his core, as he says, I don't get paid enough for this. Izumi, why did you do it? Why did you have to stoop so low and do all of this? As we finally see the inmate known as Izumi, as she smiles widely yet again at her dad, as she says, retribution for mom. It's really funny how things turn out, Dad. First, you're just an unknowing kid just walking through life, wanting to be a hero. And next thing you know, you get tortured by the safety committee and get brainwashed and become their little puppet. Next thing you know, you're killing your own mom. And then breaking from the brainwash, it's funny me becoming a saber agent for a hero association, the hero association, the hero committee. You would think it was villains that does shit like that, but no, it's the heroes that does shit like that. It really opened my eyes after killing mom. And yeah, I decided after killing mom, as she says in a very shaky voice, I'm gonna get my revenge. As She is looking down with bangs covering her eyes as she looks up to her dad. As she said, "I know you were searching for mom's killer for a long time and searching for me." Wondering what happened after mom was killed. Probably someone took me after she was killed. But I know you found out the truth not long ago. My question is, what are you going to do with that information? Your own daughter killed my mom. But, like I said, after breaking from the brainwash, I went to get my revenge on the hero committee and the hero society that let them even exist. That disgusting committee. Not long after me breaking from the brainwash, I found out why they wanted me to kill mom. Turns out, long ago, before meeting you, Dad, and meeting you and her making me, she was their little assassin. But after meeting you, something changed in her that the hero committee didn't like. She became merciful to her, how should I say? Yes, she became merciful to her victims, or her targets, let's say. But after her becoming merciful, she really hated her line of work. She hated the committee so much that she disappeared one day before them throwing a coup and throwing her in Tartarus. She saved herself from being thrown in Tartarus for the rest of her life and go into a normal life. She had a new look, of course. And yeah, it's real hilarious. After finding all this out, it's ironic that they found me. I don't know how they found me, but they did. As we go to Aizawa, as he just hears his daughter muttering and going back and forth between her story, as Aizawa tells her, "Izumi, please stop." As he has tears in his eyes welling up, as she looks at Shota, her father, with a very crazed look in her eyes. Well, she stopped telling her story. Why didn't you come to me after everything? I would have understood your story. I would have done something. Done anything. As Izumi looked at her father with a sad expression on her face. "Dad, you're the one of the best heroes I've ever known. And I know you've killed villains before. You know the truth of the hero societies. But sometimes you are naive, seeing the best in people, Dad. I, after me killing Mom, after I preyed on some people, I've grown to like it. I'm not that goody two shoes, that innocent daughter that you used to have, Dad. As she says, as she is holding the choker collar that has deactivated her quirk, as she is pretty much stroking it right now, as she looks at her hands. You have given me quite an amazing quirk, you and Mom. You who can deactivate quirks, while Mom who can transform her arm into a weapon. Well, me, I can create knives. I can create multiple bladed weapons with the effect of once I slash someone, I can deactivate their quirk. It's one of the best quirks I can actually ever think of actually having with someone that has been trained by you, Aizawa, since I was a child. Uh, it is one of the best powers I could think of having. I wouldn't want to think of anything else. But never mind that. Where was I going at this? Oh yeah. As she looks at her hands yet again, as she says, that quirk really helped me with killing people. It is one of the most effective weapons for killing people, Dad. It can easily be, how should I say, used for good. But it's a weapon, Dad. It's used for killing people. The purest form of a katana or a knife is to cut stuff up, to butcher something or someone. That's the true essence of a blade. After killing Mom and killing a few more people, I loved the thrill of killing. After getting revenge on the Hero Committee, oh how I loved the look on their faces, seeing that the sleeper agent that they made destroy their whole committee, destroy them and killing them. I love to look at their faces. I loved it, absolutely loved it. But after destroying the committee, the Hero Commission or the committee, whichever you prefer to call them, I thought that I would stop, thinking that was the end of it, the end of my killing spree, of my revenge. But I realized shortly after, I loved the thrill of killing. I became somewhat of an assassin myself for whoever wanted someone to be killed. And I have my own. I now have some friends that helps me. That's in my little gang, you could say, Dad. And I won't give up their information. I know you came here for that. No matter how much I love you, Dad, I won't give up my friends' information. I won't tell you who they are. I won't tell you who the traitors of UA are. She gives Aizawa a crazed smirk on her face. Even though I am down, me, Legion, is in Tartarus prison. I will be broken out. Just wait on that, Dad. Just wait on that. As the guards come up to her and says visiting time is over. As Aizawa stands up and shouts at them, "It's not over yet." As they say, "Yes, it is. Come back tomorrow if you want to talk to her again." As Aizawa slams it on the table angrily, as he says, "Damn it." As he looks at his daughter, who has a very playful smile, as he says, "It's very easy to misdirect a conversation, to mislead someone. I learned that from you, Dad. It's funny how easily I did that to you. I thought you would have caught on." As she gets taken away by the guards, as Aizawa starts crying after the door shuts, as he thought, how did it all go so wrong? As he thinks back on the Hero Committee, as he bows his hand into a fist, as the palms of his fist starts bleeding, as he says, "I wished I could have gotten them myself. Them doing that to my daughter, and killing my wife. God damn it. I feel so useless, so powerless." As he sits back looking at the ceiling, as he stands back up after a couple minutes of just looking into nothing, as he looks at the information of his daughter, which he knows by heart, as her birthday is October 30th. Her birth date is October 30th, every year, yada yada yada, and still alive. Her occupation is villain, S tier. Skills, manipulation, killing multiple people, parkour, has pretty good strength, has flexibility, and multiple more skills. Quirk. Quirk. Quirk creates bladed. Blah. Her quirk is blade creation / erase. Sorry, I couldn't think of a better name. For those of you that think y'all can give her quirk a better name, put it in the comment section. Let me get back to the the story. As he looks down on even more of her information, and he looks at her villain name, Legion. The founder of Legion, a group of villains that kill villains and heroes alike, but they mainly go after heroes. As Aizawa just sighs as he puts the paper in a folder, and he goes back to his car outside of Tartarus. As he gets in it, and he drives off back to Japan, let's say. Yeah. As he drives back to Japan, as we skip a few hours as he parks into his house. As he turns the ignition off, he takes the keys out of the car and gets out of the car and shuts the door closed. As he starts walking into his house, as he opens the door, puts his coat hanging on a rack by the door, as he looks at the desolate home that used to be so full of life, as we see flashes of the past, as he sees himself with his wife, Nagant, and their beautiful daughter, Izumi, that was so full of life. As he gets closer, wanting to touch and pet her hair, her head again, with her beautiful, silky, pink hair. But his hand went right through her head as the vision disappeared. As he sighs as he goes back to his bedroom, as he puts the folder on the table near his bed. As he sits on the bed. As he sighs, as he lays on the top of his bed, not even wanting to take his clothes off, as he feels so fatigued and tired after the day. As he cries himself to sleep, wishing that things could be different. Wishing that he had his wife back, wishing that he had his daughter back. As we cut back to when it all began. As we see Aizawa and I'm going to call her Lady Nagant because I actually forgot what Lady Nagant's real name is at the moment. But yeah, they are the Aizawa family. Shota Aizawa, Lady Nagant, or where Lady Nagant, or whatever her real name plus Aizawa as her last name, and Izumi Aizawa. Izumi Aizawa. As we see them playfully in a beautiful morning, as we see the sun shining, as Izumi is just running throughout the whole estate, their house, as we see Lady Nagant making breakfast, as Aizawa gets up from his bed in his pajamas, as he has a undershirt and lounge pants on, as he scratches his head as he yawns. As he stretches from his bed, as he walks toward the kitchen, as we see Izumi looking at the TV, as the TV has cartoons on. It has Tom and Jerry on, as she smiles while just looking at the TV, seeing Tom try to catch Jerry after Jerry put one of his stunts. As she laughs, making Aizawa smile as he looks back at his wife that is almost finished cooking breakfast. As he says, "Morning, sweetie," as he gets right behind her. He holds onto her waist and kisses her on the cheek as she smiles as he says, "Morning, sweetie." As she kisses him she looks back and kisses him on the lips. And they get into that for a couple of seconds until Izumi looks back and she says, "Ew," as Aizawa and Nagant just struggles. And Izumi walks towards them and pulls them into a hug as they go into a group hug, and she says, "Good morning, Daddy. How are you?" And she says, "I'm doing fine, sweet pea. I'm doing fine." We see Lady Nagant smile and tell her husband and daughter that food is almost ready, so they better sit at the table and talk there to get out of her way, and so she can start plating the food. They do so, and she plates the food and she brings it over to the table, one for her daughter, then her husband, then herself, as they all sit down and they eat while conversing. As Izumi says, "It's my 4th birthday. What do y'all think I'm going to have today? That's my quirk. What do you think my quirk's going to be?" As she says excitedly, as Aizawa says, "You might have my quirk, but I don't know. I'm quite interested in what your quirk will be, my sweet pea." As Izumi smiles, as she says, "That would be cool to have your quirk, Daddy. That would be. But it would be very cool to have Mommy's quirk as well." As she looks at her mommy, as Lady Nagant smiles as she says, "Yeah, my quirk is pretty badass, ain't it?" As she transforms her arm into a sniper. As she smirks at Aizawa, as Aizawa just groaned, and he smirks as well as he turns his quirk on, as deactivating her quirk, as she puffs out, as she pouts at him, as she just chuckles after doing that. making the whole family chuckle and smile. As she says, okay, jokes enough aside, I think I'm going to predict the future, Izumi. As Izumi turns her head in a questioning manner as she tilts her head sideways as she says, "Oh really, mama? Okay. Why do you predict the future will be?" As she slightly smirks as laying the gun closes her eyes and she waves her hand in a mysterious way as she says, "I predict you have my quirk." As Aizawa just looks at his wife in a dumbfounded way as he says, "You just did that just so." As then the gun shuts his mouth as he says, "No, nothing from you, sweetie, nothing from you, dear. Izumi will have my quirk." As she slightly smiles as Aizawa just sighs, drinks a cup of his coffee as he says, "I don't get paid enough for this. I'm supposed to be taking care of one child, not two." With Izumi laughing her ass off. Well, we see Lena Gaunt pout yet again as she says, "Stop that. I'm not a child. I am obviously an adult. One that can kick your ass, Aizawa." As he tells her to be quiet. None of those curse words in front of the child. As he waves towards their daughter. As Nagan just says, "You say a lot of curse words in front of her. Enough. I can say at least a couple of them. I know you don't mean to, but we do say it. So we need to admit that we say a lot of curse words in front of our daughter. We're just that type of people." As she nervously chuckles. As Aizawa just sighs as he says, "Yes, we do say a lot of curse words in front of our daughter. We set a bad example in that term." As they both look at their daughter as they both say in unison, "You're not going to say any of that, are you, sweetie? Sweet pea," as Aizawa or Shota and Lady Gun say that in unison. Well, Lady Gun says sweetie, well, Aizawa says sweet pea. As Izumi just smiles as she says, "I wouldn't dream of it." As she thinks inside her head, "Ooh, I'm going to say all of that I'm going to say all those words that they taught me in school." As she smirks inside of her head as she thinks, "What will some of my classmates think?" As she chuckles like a mad person, a mad woman inside of her own head. As always says, "Okay, it's Saturday, so Sweet Pea, go get dressed. No, first get showered, then dressed, and do whatever you need to do to get ready for the doctors, okay, Sweet Pea?" As she says, "Yes, Daddy," as she turns and I would say jogs to her room. As Aizawa looks at his wife as he says, "We have quite the insidious daughter we have. She has something planned. You know from her look, don't you, dear?" Aizawa says. Lena Gun just smiles at him as she says, I wonder who she got that from. As she looks at him, while Aizawa looks at Lena Gunt, as he says, no dear, she got it from you. Don't think that I don't know all the pranks that you pull that I blamed on Izumi were really from you, dear. You got away with it. I let you. As Lena Gunt turned her head nervously as she says, well, how would you get that idea, dear? As Aizawa gets next to her ear as he says, because, my dear, Izumi told me herself. As Lena Gun just gasps in exaggeration as she says, my dear, Izumi wouldn't dare of telling on me, would she? As always says, yes, she did, dear. She told on you on the first time that you put a prank in her name. As she mumbles some traitor. While we see Izumi. Yeah, we see Izumi in her room taking a shower while she sneezes. As she sniffles and thinks, who would be telling stories about me? As she thinks, I wonder who I'm gonna beat in school. There has to be someone that's talking bad about me. As she says, I'm gonna give them a beating, alright. I know who I'm gonna beat first. 4 Eyes. As she laughs inside of her head like a mad woman. As we switch back to the parents, as they both piss each other while they get ready as well. Now we skip to them driving to the doctor's office, as this is not the same doctor's office that they went to into Canon, or at least Izuku went to Canon. It's nowhere near that area. They went to a high let's just say a high class doctor's office. As we see Izumi walk with her parents inside the doctor's office, as Aizawa goes to the desk lady. As she says, do any of y'all have an appointment? As Aizawa says, the Aizawa family has an appointment for our daughter, Izumi Aizawa. As she looks at the appointments list, as at the top of the list is the Aizawas. As she nodded, as she says, okay, come follow me into the waiting room. It's right it's pretty much right behind me. Just follow me. As Aizawa nods, and they all follow her into the waiting room. As she brings them into an waiting area that's pretty comfortable, unlike most doctors' offices. This one has pretty comfortable chairs. They have a few reclining. They have a lot of comfortable chairs and seats that they wait in. As it's pretty high class, as Aizawa sees inside the room a coffee maker and a one of those machines, those drink machines that you see in restaurants where you can pick any flavor of a certain drink you want. As they actually have one of those in there. As Aizawa and Izumi look at each other as they both smile as they run. They both run. Each run into each machine. As Aizawa gets a cup for the coffee machine. Oh, well, Izumi gets a cup for the soda machine. She picks Coke, and she picks the cherry vanilla Coke. She presses the button. Actually, she can't really press the button. She tries to, but she can't. As she asks her mom for help, as it's too high for her to reach. As she her mom does it. As she chuckles as she says, "Okay, Izumi." As she presses the button for her to pour her Coke in her her cup. As she does so, and she brings it to Izumi, as Izumi holds it and runs to a recliner. As they wait, they all start talking, do their hourly chit chat, waiting for the doctor to come to the waiting room. As we see, I'm going to say 10 to 15 minutes later, a doctor will come to the waiting room, as a few other people have came by then as well, as the room is kind of half filled with people, as it's still it's still morning. As the doctor says on his clip, looks at his clipboard and looks at the people in there. As he says, the Aizawas, are y'all here? Is it the Aizawas here? As Leinagon and Aizawa, both of them hold their hand out, saying that it's them. As Leinagon holds Izumi's hand, as they all walk to follow the doctor into his office. As the doctor's office is pretty comfortable, yet another comfortable area yet again. As they sit in the chairs, and the doctor tells them that he'll have to take Izumi and get her checked out and see how her quirk would be. See what her quirk would be, as he already knew why they came there. He didn't have to ask. As they made an appointment online, so they did an online check-in and all that, and did their reason and paid right then and there. As Izumi followed the doctor into the room where he'll do the test, where as he does a blood sample, he does the whole procedures, do the x-ray scan, as she has all the tests saying that she is positive for quirk. As he gets into it, as he looks at her quirk, as he thinks her quirk is pretty interesting. It could easily be done with heroics. It could easily be a heroic quirk, as easily as it will be a villainous quirk. It just depends who holds it. As he's impressed with her quirk, it can be a very powerful quirk. As Izumi here just needs to learn how to she just has to know what the components are on how to make certain bait weapons, as she thinks this. As he gets up from all the tests, as tells Izumi that she can get down from the X-ray table. As she gets down from there, and she follows him back into the office where her parents are waiting. As Aizawa looks at the doctor as he asks, "So, what's our daughter's quirk?" As the doctor says, Izumi here has a very interesting quirk. She has the quirk where she's able to create any type of bladed weapon, but it has an effect. Any cut with the bladed weapons that she uses, or she can turn as I don't know how it happens, but with enough training, instead of her cutting into her opponents, she can also just have to be in the vicinity of a certain opponent where she can erase her quirks with her bladed weapons. So that every bladed weapon that she creates from her hands, as he says, she has to know the components, like I said, to how to create blade weapons. So she'll have to learn how to get into blacksmithing, I would presume, and teach her the biology of bladed weapons, katanas, knives, kunais, all those type of sort of blade weapons. As Aizawa nods with laying a gun, nods as well as she looks at her daughter. She says, "You have quite an interesting quirk, my dear daughter." As Izumi smiles as he says, "Yay, I have a pretty cool quirk. Does this mean I have a mixture of your quirk, mom, and dad's?" As the doctor looks at Izumi as he says, "Well, if you get into it, yes, this would indeed be a mixture of your dad's quirk and your mother's quirk. Having bladed weapons but you have bladed weapons instead of a arm that transforms into a weapon. So that's the only thing that I will have to say. So I can imagine that turning into a creation quirk. So you have a very powerful quirk, my dear. I'm gonna say, you could be easily a great hero with it." As Izumi smiles as he says, "Yay, Daddy and Mom have a very powerful quirk." As they both smile and they say, "That's good, Izumi. Now, Lena Gun thanks the doctor, and the doctor shows them all the papers that they'll have to do to train her quirk, probably procedures that she'll have to take, and yada yada. As the only as they are about to leave, but the doctor says wait, as he goes back to his desk, as he gets a lollipop, as he brings it to Izumi, as he says, "Have a great day, my dear, and happy birthday, Miss Izumi Aizawa." As Izumi nods and smiles as she says, "Thank you, doctor." As the doctor says to Aizawa, he says, "My bad, I almost forgot, Sir Aizawa. The only side effect I would have to say that your daughter has, like every quirk, they all have a side effect. But the only side effect I really see is her creation quirk takes up a lot of stamina. Whenever she creates her weapons with that extra effect of your quirk, eraser, it takes a bit of her stamina, so she will have to do a stamina training, like a lot of it, in order to actually properly use her quirk. Sure, Aizawa. Aizawa nods as he says thank you. As they walk on their way to their car, as Izumi is very happy with her quirk, while Aizawa is thinking. So she has a mixture of mine and her mother's quirk as he looks at his wife that is smiling at her daughter as they're both playing in front of him. They're running to the car. They're pretty much racing to the car. They're having a race with Lena Gaunt actually going easy on their daughter. As he smiles, as he looks at both of his girls, as he just thinks what the future will hold, not knowing that his future will be nothing but tragedy. As they get in the car, as we see someone in the distance saying in comms, I found your boss. I found Lady Nagant. Copy. Copy. So Lady Nagant is still alive. As we see someone in an office, a older woman, about middle-aged, with blonde hair, as she says, I should have been fast enough to take care of you then and there. Lady Nagant, no one runs away from the community. As she says with a serious expression, holding both of her hands together, as she smirks darkly, as she looks at the footage of Aizawa and Lady Nagant's daughter, as she looks at Lady Nagant's daughter, as she thinks, how wouldn't it be pretty hilarious, you dying from your own daughter, as the lady that's looking at the footage, it's laughing very menacingly and psychotically almost, as she says, yes, that will be quite the sight to see. You run away from this life and ending up dying by your own daughter, like the life that you ran away from and the life that you built. Oh, I'm going to see you soon, Izumi Aizawa. And that is the end of part 0 to What If Deku was Legion. I hope you liked this episode. I'm going to bring out the next one probably either next year probably, or I could bring this out around November again, but I doubt it. It will most likely be next year till I bring another part of this out, like the other parts of all the other parts of the poll. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Hope you have an amazing day or night wherever your time zone is. I'm Marshall Family. Peace out.